Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
What a day that it's been at the U.S. Open. I wouldn't know because I'm home hanging out here with the girls and with you guys, and hopefully y'all have enjoyed it to this point. We were live a little bit earlier on today with Niels, and he made it through to final 16, which we'll be down to after today. A lot of matches still going on. You guys can sweat the live scores at WNT.live scores, and I'm going to go through them here in just a little bit for you guys. I'll switch the view on there so y'all can see them a little bit better. But let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me and see me all right. Of course, I got a guest, although actually, besides getting Oscar on, this is like the next best thing. And on the note of Oscar, I'm pretty tilted because I texted him after that last match. Motherfucker never even responded to my text. So I'm coming in madly tilted. The Hall of Famer himself, Mike. How is it, buddy? How are you out there?
Good. I like that you bring me in as a guest because your regular contributor wasn't around, or what?
Yeah, you know what? We got to give you like an official title, Mike. You know, because you've been like the Joey sub for some time, and Joey's doing all right. He texted me the other day.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He did. Thankfully, yeah, I heard from him in a little bit, so I was glad to go and hear from him. But yeah. Anyhow, Mike, how's the vibe out there? How you feeling out there? What's going on, man?
It's great. It's great. I saw Oscar. I pulled him aside. I said, "What are you doing to my boy Molina?" I said, "You got him,
Bro,
giving him like cardiac arrest over
I
here."
can't.
And
I can't.
yeah, he got. Did you get to see the last couple shots of that match?
No, I didn't. I
Nick with
heard Nick
Cleaning
was
it?
live. I heard. Well, actually, a friend of mine sent me the video, so I saw he missed
Okay.
the 9 ball, and then that I saw he missed the 9 ball in the upper right, and then from what I heard, then Wojciech then missed again, and then Oscar cleaned up after that, made the
Yeah,
case on
Wojciech
it.
missed twice. I mean, he missed on the first shot that should have closed it out. Just got straight from the 8 to the 9. I talked to Wojciech after that. He was not feeling up to up to par.
No,
I
you got a lot
felt
of balls, Mike. I don't like talking to guys after they lose. Like it's rare that I'll even do that.
well, it was a while after. It was like an hour or so afterwards. He was back in the tournament room and he was sitting there, and I hadn't seen him yet, so I just wanted to say hello. And he talked a little bit about just it was hasn't been a good week for him. He didn't have a great showing. He was disappointed in showing at the World Games, and then came all the way here, um, and just gave one away for sure. But all the credit to Oscar for hanging in there. I mean, you just keep fighting, and maybe you're gonna get that one extra shot. And he got it, and now I believe he's winning now.
He's up
Uh,
7-3. I'm looking over right
yeah,
now. I got the
so
live scoring going.
winner of his match gets Josh, who was down 7-5 to Chang, and then went Josh on him and 5 and out, and that was pretty
Yeah.
much that.
Took over. We talk about closers, Mike, and that's what Josh did to me. I mean, not to me, but in my opinion, in that match with Chang Yulong, because Chang was giving him the business. I mean, just
Yeah.
playing some solid pull and punching him right back, and you can tell towards the end of that match, at least as Josh got back into it, because you mentioned he was down. He was paying Chang Yulong a lot of respect with the decisions that he was making, in my
Yeah.
opinion, because Josh really tightened up and played a conservative game in order to close that match out, because it looked like it was going to get away from him, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, and we've talked about Josh in the last couple of tournaments how he hasn't played all that well, and so yeah, I mean he's showing respect for Chang. He probably you know is not feeling still 150% about his just rifling balls in game right now, and so yeah, playing it smart. And it was on the TV table,
I was
which
shocked, Mike. I was shocked
I
seeing him
asked,
on
I asked
table
how
one.
much I asked how much he paid to get onto the TV table.
I was gonna make a post. Honest to God, I was gonna say, man, this must be a slow news day if they're getting Josh on TV table
Well, I'll
number
tell you
one.
what, they're all as they say gutted over Shane being out of the tournament, but it did him
That,
being out
that
of the
them
tournament
being
opens
the
up it
matchroom
opens
team.
up yeah, it opens up the tournament table, the TV table for a lot of other options because if Shane was still in, Shane's on the tournament table every round. Um, so yeah, a couple opportunities, but that you couldn't not put that match on the TV table. Him against
Well,
Shane, that's that's a finals match.
It's a great matchup, and I remember Cheng Yulong in the U.S. Open that, ironically enough, Josh won at Mandalay all those years ago, and there was just the reason why I remember it is because Cheng Yulong came with an amazing shot. I think it was like final 16 or final 8 type territory, and the guy's big time, and he's been consistent. He's kind of like in that 5+ range in terms of Taiwanese players, but it's only because of their standard and those guys that are there at the top in the Cole brothers amongst
Yeah.
other Wu Kun Lin, etc. But I want to just touch base on Oscar again, Mike, because
Yeah.
it's so tough for me because I'm his friend, right? First, and like you said, I'm glad you gave him shit for it because I was really pissed off. I see him down 7-0. Last night I sent him a message and I was like, hey, and I really, as much as we're friends, like I'll hit him up every now and then. Not even Oscar though, I'll leave him alone after a loss. Like
Yeah, right.
I'll stay away from it.
Yeah.
But like I sent him a note last night and I said, hey, just wanted to say, good shit and keep it going, stay focused. And that was pretty much it. I try to like just keep it as simple as you can because, I don't want to put pressure or expectations on him. At the same time, I told him, just go out there and have fun. And that's what I've been telling him for months now. And so to see him, when I saw him down 7-0, like the rest of the world, I thought, okay, this is, it's going to be the end of Oscar's run. Wojciech's a world champion. He was in the semifinals of the world championship last year. He's a monster player. And then I start seeing like 2 and 3, and I'm like, fuck, okay, just hurry, just get it over with, book a flight back home. Let's just, let's get on with the day. And then I saw 5. And when he got to 5, I said, oh shit. Okay.
It's interesting.
We got a chance. But then it was like 8-5. And I was like back to cursing at the TV again, and then before you know it, 8 or 9-9 Hill. And even then I didn't feel good about it just because of, knowing Oscar and in the sense of like, he could take a little bit of time, maybe feel a little bit of pressure sometimes as well. I was really nervous. I was really happy for my guy. Obviously, he's still playing. He's playing T-Con right now, who has been playing pretty solid, Mike. So 7-3 up currently is Oscar. And the more that I see not a match, but a game like take time, I know it's in Oscar's favor because he's not the fastest guy on earth. So.
He's grinding.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be real honest with you, Mike. If Oscar does get through, I'm going to just start so much shit if that match isn't on TV table between him and Filler. I mean, like the last American in the U.S. Open.
Last American U.S. Open. He'll be on, maybe it's table 1, maybe not, but you'll be able to watch every ball.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be great, hopefully, and not to jinx him because no lead is safe, and he proved that. But it's really just a credit to Oscar's grind. He's that type of player. He's not afraid to extend a game, extend a match, and usually his matches do kind of go longer in the tooth, because of his style of play. But the dude just don't give up. Even whenever I'm like, yo, let's go get some dinner, I'm hungry. Like he's just, he does not quit. And it's part of the reason why I got a lot of admiration and respect for him, along with this character as well. But Mike, what were some other things that you noticed getting into the room and into the arena and all that?
It's a typical U.S. Open. You can tell everybody's really, the players, this is the one that they want to win. They consider it, the most competitive, the most prestigious, and you can kind of feel it when you go in the room around there. I love all the newer names in there. I love Emil. I love Jesus. I love, all these guys who are making these runs and taking out players. And then you got Niels, meanwhile, just kind of rolling through and pounding people left and right. Albin took out Bassett.
Big win.
Yeah, big win for him. So, you got a couple of those guys who have that pedigree who you just haven't seen at the top real recently with like an Albin and a Niels. Great to see them in there. How's my guy Victor doing? Is he still winning?
He won because the only reason why I know is because it's off of the scoreboard. So he's got
okay.
Yeah. So he's got an opportunity facing Federer now, Mike.
Super happy for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Victor's into 16 now, isn't he? This was his second.
I guess it would. What I meant to say was it should be his. If Federer goes on to win, then he'll be playing Federer, if I'm not mistaken. I could be
So
wrong because I'm not looking at the bracket. So
yeah, so Victor, he's, you know, I like the guy. He's just a great kid, and he's really stuck his chin out there as far as flying on, flying his own flag, literally. Uh,
literally,
and I just love the kid, and you know, he won the last two. This match he kind of front ran in here, but the
yeah,
last two matches he came from behind, close matches against good players, and that's the Victor that you and I have had issues with in the last couple of years when he got down in a
100%.
match late in the tournament against some of these guys.
He
He tended
folds.
to do that body language,
Yeah.
slump in his chair, that type of
Hmm.
thing. And he's, I don't know. I want to sit down and talk to him after this now and see, does he feel any different right now in terms of confidence level when he's behind and staying mentally tough. Great to see him come back and win these matches. Great to see him make the final 16. I wish that kid, could make a final four, final two.
He's
Real
got that
soon.
ceiling, Mike. He's
He,
100% got that ceiling.
he's definitely got this thing, and you want it for his career. You want this guy to not get frustrated, to stick with it, because he has really gone, mercenary rogue, not rogue, but just kind of on his own. And I want to see him do well, so I'm rooting for him. I love the Jesus story; has been great. Um, so and then you've got Josh, you've got Jason, who's playing Emil now.
Yeah, it's a fun mix, Mike, of
It's a
these
great mix. It's really good.
established
Really,
veterans and then these like the thing with guys like an Emil or Moritz for that matter, who's playing Wu Kun Lin right now, which is going to be a
right.
tough match. Victor, it's like we always know that they have that kind of potential, but it's time if you want to be considered with the top tier players to make a move, and it's in a tournament like this, and you have to go and beat a name type guy, like
Yeah,
in Victor's case, Federer, and in Emil's case, Jason, Alexis through the final 16. Dennis
yeah,
Grabe, defeated Carlo earlier today,
yeah.
and but, like it's a fun mix. Albin's back in the mix, even though he's not like in Matchroom's necessarily best favors, over the last couple of years. So like him and Niels being the older timers in the Mosconi, young bucks who have huge opportunity, Mike, because there's a lot of guys who were in the Mosconi Cup last year who are no longer in this tournament. So, you know, a bunch of people can go and make moves in the next 24 hours out there in Atlantic City.
Yeah, no, it's a really good mix of players. So really really looking forward to this upcoming. Who did Dennis Gray beat before Carlo? He had a big match right before Carlo too, I think.
He did. I can't remember. And so he beat John and Carlo today, but
Yeah,
in the double elimination portion, I don't recall, to be honest with you.
but
So
either way, he's had a really good tournament. I mean, he's not had an easy route, and
right.
has hung in there and done really well. So good to see him in there. So Moritz and Dennis. So we've got a lot of those guys that we've been waiting, have been kind of that knocking on the door,
Yes.
Fleckner's, that those type of guys. And then we've got some new faces in there, and then we've got some old guys in there, and then the heavy hitters, the fetters and the fillers. So it's a really good mix. We could end up with a really killer final 16.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that no SVB, like you mentioned,
Right.
and that was a gut punch to the storyline. Of course, he's a friend of both of ours as well, so we were both personally rooting for him. Yeah, no, Mike, I couldn't agree with you more, like on everything that you're saying, because it's like it's the Dennis Gray, the Albins, all these guys who they've had successes in other arenas, but none as
Right.
big as the Matchroom arena, and none as big outside of the World Championship as the U.S. Open, and not anything as coveted, because the U.S. Open has always been that staple. Oscar's up 8-3. Chua's up 7-5 over Kazakis. Let me just give you some more scores.
Okay.
Jesus 8-5 over Boanin. Kopinyi just took out the dude who took out his little brother in Chan, 10-6. So Kopinyi's in the final 16 as well. But yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
just it's got it all. Mike, you mentioned the Jesus story, and I saw Matchroom's post like earlier today, I think it was, where it was like a star in the making, and in my head I'm thinking, only because you've been under a rock for the last 3-4 years,
Well, I mean,
because this
in their defense, I mean, Jesus has been under the rock for the last couple of years. I mean,
well, especially the last
he,
year.
he's been off the grid for the better part of a couple of years. He hasn't really traveled much and done that type of thing. So, but yeah, he's got a ton of talent. He's got a great look. He's got a great vibe to him. He's fun to watch. He's got a great game. So he's the type of guy that Matchroom would love the opportunity to market more. If he keeps finishing high like this, you'll see a lot more airtime for Jesus Atencio.
Well, he's been having a lot of airtime in this tournament, and
Yeah,
deserved, just because of the opportunity that's there, and him capitalizing on like the successes out there in Florida. And we talked about that, Mike. When you get opportunities in that locker room, you have to take advantage of it. And it may not always be fair to a guy like an Albin Ocean, for example, who's so decorated, but then you kind of have these tiffs and he gets sent out to the outside arena. But like, if for these young players, look out for a kid like Jesus, because he's doing it the right way, right?
right.
He's taken the worst of it over the last couple of years. Now he's getting an opportunity. And when you beat Fran on TV table at the US
Yeah,
Open in Atlantic City, like, that's big time, Mike,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Jeffrey Rota's still in.
Jeffrey
Uh,
Rota's still in. There was Niels got in. Who else already got in? Mike Alexa Pachel, who's he was there in the
yeah,
semifinal. I think it was like 2 years ago.
yeah, something like that. A couple of years ago, right? So, yeah, obviously Josh is through. Um, 16. Victor's through to 16. Um,
Who are some other
yeah,
players you expect to talk to?
Yep is on cruise control.
He's kind of an afterthought because he's playing at such a high level, Mike. If
Yeah,
that
he's
makes
just
any kind of sense. It's like it's just Yap doing Yap things.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Just and
like
then when we talked the last couple of days, we really never really got to the Cole brothers. Like we don't expect them these days to win one of these tournaments, but meanwhile they're both still in the thick of it, going and both have a shot at last 16.
no.
So
Well, so Koping Chung lost to the gentleman who Koping Yi just lost to. So Koping Yi beat the guy who beat Koping Chung.
oh, that's right, the Kopin
Yeah,
Chung.
yeah. So Koping Yi's still in.
Right.
And he looked as flawless as ever against SVB. Like, he was playing some real smooth pull, kind of
Very good.
akin to the way Jesus has been playing. Where I'm really thinking. I mean, you can realistically make an argument for 4 or 5 guys right now, Mike.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no,
and
there's
so
there's some guys there's some guys out there, a good handful that are firing on all cylinders right now. So yeah, it's stacking up for a really great final 2 days.
who are some other players you're looking forward to speaking with over the next couple of days, Mike?
Um, I want to spend some time with Jesus, obviously, and kind of get a little more backstory on where he's been and what his how come his plans have changed, what's he got going. Really interested to talk to him. It's a good opportunity for me to talk to a lot of guys I don't see that often. I spent a little bit of time talking to Daniel Maciel. I love watching his game. He didn't
Yeah.
get a lot of love at the end of that game, so that match. So that was too bad. But I want to talk to him. Emil, really sharp young kid, a lot of talent. So yeah, there's a lot of good potential stories out here.
Final 16 is going to go off tomorrow. Oscar's up 8-4. Chua and Kazakis. Kazakis is was in a hill match against Mickey, and now he's 7-6 down to Johan Chua. So Kazakis
Right.
showing some, and that game they were showing it on TV table, like, back and forth. That last rack between Kazakis and Mickey, I swear that must have been like a 20-minute hill match in typical, like, Alex style and fashion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great.
Um, Yeah, look, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Mike, what's your schedule going to be like? Are you going to be free? Are you going to be available?
Yeah, I should be available the rest of the week. Hopefully I can, message me, let me know what players you want me to see if I can grab. I know you're going through Jack, but if you want me to just drag a couple of guys off to the side, I can always try to do that.
Oh no, I
So,
intend on putting you to work. Jesus is up 9-5 for sure. I'm sorry, up 9-5 on Bohannon, so he's close to closing that out. And then a couple of other matches are just getting kicked off as well. Yeah, I love the U.S. Open. It's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of and it's got a lot of potential stories to be told still,
yeah.
especially in the next 2 days, Mike. So, anything else before we get you out of here so you can go enjoy your
Well,
dinner, buddy?
you mentioned U.S. Open, and I've heard a couple people mention they thought this was going to be it for Atlantic City. Uh,
Really?
so I mean, nobody from Matchroom, but a couple people have mentioned that's kind of some back the backstory that they've been hearing. which honestly wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. This isn't
It's
a
so tough
great.
to get to.
It's not a
So
great draw for pool fans. I mean, they're sold out for the final day, which is great because it's the U.S. Open. It's on the East Coast, but really, in the days leading up to it, it's pretty bleak out here. Not a great spot to be. Period.
no,
So this is an event. If I perfect world, I mean, everybody talked about how great Florida was for the Florida Open. How
really.
great the breeze was, how great the atmosphere was, a lot of fans, good crowd. Take the U.S. Open to Texas. Have the Florida Open in Florida. Take the U.S. Open to Texas. Let's have some fun.
I thought you were going to say the Florida's going to be hosting the U.S. Open, Mike, is what I thought you were
No,
going to
no,
do.
no. They're doing great with the Florida Open. I don't think they want to run. You don't want to have the Florida Open and the U.S. Open and a Mosconi Cup in the same location in Florida for in the same year. So no, I mean, move it around the country a little bit, but Texas, you'll get some fans out there and you'll get some following. I like
There's
the
a
idea of making that.
there's a great pool community out there. My only concern is I listen, and this is me being a Texan, is that no matter what part of the state you're in, it's really fucking hot in August in Texas. You know what I mean? And
You
so,
just came from Florida.
well, that's what I mean though.
Not
I want
exactly
somewhere.
smart North Dakota.
Listen, I want somewhere with like a view, Mike. I wouldn't be mad. Take it to Vegas. I don't care. Who cares? Who knows?
I don't want to go to. I don't want to go to Vegas for more.
I won't be mad if they take it out of Atlantic City. I'll say that though, because only because the flight's such a pain in the ass to get to. They can be expensive, and usually got to go and fly into Philly, and then Uber on over or whatever, or rent a car. So, anyhow, Mike, I'm gonna let you go because I know you got dinner plans, knowing my man. So
no, I got. There's Jason's playing right now against Emil. Federer's playing right now.
Who are you? You never sweat matches past like 6 o'clock.
Well,
the one year I don't go.
Dinner's not too late.
There it is. There's my guy. All right, you guys go.
Cocktails at 7:30.
if you're in Atlantic City, go hang out with Mike. He knows all the spots. Mike, always appreciate it. Thanks for having you on. We'll have you on tomorrow as well. So keep your notifications on, you guys. I'm gonna get on out of here and go sweat the end of these matches in this round. So go enjoy, and yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out with us. We'll see you.